I've rewritten this script so many times. Greetings, salutations. Today I am here to discuss the Fatalis boys TM and why their relationship is so aggravating to Vivica. Because, honestly, it goes a lot deeper than Viv just wanting to get work done. So Harkin and Olsen are in love. Olsen is the local magician, figuratively, of Delphine, and Harkin was smitten by day two of knowing him. Their adorable red and blue gaze and their love is literally bound by fate. They are quite literally made for each other. Now, as much as I would love the homophobic Vivica memes, Viv is actually, unfortunately, not homophobic. I know, it's a tragedy. Viv honestly doesn't really care that Harkin and Olsen are gay and in love with each other. The only reason she even gives it a second thought is because the SS Harksen gets in the way of her work. No, literally. She genuinely doesn't care. She'd probably be like, yeah, okay, you can go out to dinner with Harkin. I don't care. Just please help me fill out these eyewitness accounts. But here's the problem with their relationship. Viv didn't see it coming. Now, one of Viv's big things is that she is manipulative. Extremely so. Every situation has to be under her control or she will freak out. She's so precise and calculated that not knowing something drives her nuts. She can't work or assure her own safety if she isn't in full control. Viv also has really bad people skills. There's a reason her ex-bestie Dolian, also known as head of the detective agency, also known as the guy Jive and Raven murder, assigned her to work with Olsen, because Viv's people skills are horrible. Viv has the evidence and facts and all of the makings of a perfect detective, except for her terrible people skills. Olsen, in contrast, is known citywide for being charming and incredible with people. She's the objective facts, he's the people and getting into the minds aspect of detective work. Their skills are perfect for each other. But at her core, Viv sucks with people. Relationships are not her thing. She has successfully pushed everyone out of her life by being a workaholic and driving herself insane. When she's not in control, she loses it. And, unfortunately, Harkin and Olsen's love is something she doesn't understand. She didn't understand why Harkin was so infatuated with him. Now, to be fair, Viv also doesn't like Olsen, so, of course, someone falling in love with him is ludicrous to her, but it goes deeper than that. Harkin poses a threat to Vivica. I know, crazy. He's visually impaired with the body of a twig and has zero communication skills. He's depressed. The man reads Jane Austen. How could this loser pose any kind of threat to Delphine City's princess? Well, physically, he can't, but technically, he can. Harkin is weak, visually impaired, depressed, and a doormat, but he is still a police officer, a very timid one, but a policeman nonetheless. And not just that, he's the best friend and pupil of Thatcher, who has the same social standing of a police chief. Harkin is somehow both high and low on the food chain, and that's why he poses a threat to Viv. So think about it this way. Viv, an abusive workaholic, is working with Olsen, charm incarnate. Harkin falls in love with Olsen, and now, all of a sudden, she's learning that Harkin can be threatening. He's picked up on all the shit she does to Olsen and her fruitless and bordering on illegal endeavors in catching Jive and Raven. Now, he knows this, and now Harkin is talking back towards her. But see, here's the thing. Viv has bad people skills, remember. All she sees is that Harkin is all of a sudden protective of Olsen and suspicious of her. She doesn't understand why, she doesn't understand how, but he is. And that makes her lose it. She doesn't get it. She doesn't know why Harkin is now protective of Olsen or why this shaky leaf of a policeman is now outright threatening her to stay away from Olsen, Jive, and Raven. She figures that out eventually, obviously. She realizes Harkin is in love with Olsen and that he has picked up on her actions towards him. And while Harkin is genuinely just a sweet dude, she now knows that he has a wrath in him that has laid dormant for years. Yes, this man is inspired by Persephone. How could you tell? And that's basically the only reason she is so against Harkin and Olsen's love, because Harkin poses a threat to her because he knows who she is and actually has the power to stop her in her tracks. And she can't let that stand, so she deals with him. Now, granted, shooting the love of your coworker's life through the spine, ribs, and internal organs is maybe not the best way to deal with your problems, but that's how Viv does it. She's particularly vengeful towards Harkin because he is, in her eyes, just another obstacle. Jive and Raven could kill her, yes, but Harkin could imprison her, and the idea of getting locked up alive and dealing with the fact that she failed and was caught is something Vivica cannot deal with. It's why in the finale she lies and frames Harkin as the reason she is still alive. In the finale, all the characters are in a car accident. Jive and Raven escape, but when aiding them in their escape, Harkin is shot through the chest and spine by Viv. But while everyone is in comas in the aftermath of the accident, Viv lies and claims Harkin saved her since, she's not in a coma. She claims that Harkin was shot by Jive and that he was shot by Jive whilst trying to rescue Viv. It seems odd, right? Like, why would Viv lie and claim her primary threat saved her life? Why would she show up to his awards ceremony and thank him for saving her? Well, 2 reasons. 1, lying and saying Jive shot Harkin explains why Harkin was injured and cleans Viv's hands of the incident. Literally. But the big reason is because by lying and saying Harkin was her hero, she also controls the situation. She makes up the story from that point on. She can edit the Masquerade Massacre to be whatever fits her needs. By framing Harkin as her hero, she also makes him appear noble and her appear a damsel. She becomes untouchable. He can't arrest her anymore because he allegedly saved her. If he tried to call her out, it'd be contradictory to her story. She's Delphine's princess. Everyone's gonna listen to her. Harkin is now under her thumb, just like everyone else in the city. In general, Harkin cannot threaten Viv, but he harbors a love for Olsen that cannot be altered no matter how much Viv tries to change the story. And just maybe that love will be enough to take her down one day. Besides, if Fatalis gets a season 2, wouldn't it be just a bit satisfying to see her behind bars? Because I think it would be. Never underestimate the power of pure, unadulterated gay love against the manipulator of an entire city. That's not the moral of Fatalis, but that is partly the moral of Fatalis. If you ask me, the moral of Fatalis is actually run away from your problems, be gay, do crime, and cause people sexuality crises in their mid-20s. That's the main idea behind Fatalis, if you ask me. And see, my script ended a couple of minutes ago, so I've just been ranting this entire time. But you're not going to question it. Oh, God. But yes, that's my little analysis of Harkin and Olsen, or Harksen, and why their little relationship is kind of a bit of an issue for Viv. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!